Good evening, sir.
Madam, how far?
I'm fine. Equataro.
How are you? Happy Friday.
Oh God. Hey.
You should be back at home now.
Yeah, I'm back. I could not do my homework. I've not, after you sent the access code yesterday, man.
Was it sent yesterday? Access code was sent long before now, not be yesterday.
It was yesterday now. Shiba Noni and chats. It was yesterday morning I made payments now.
Okay, yes, yesterday morning. Correct.
It was yesterday.
Okay. No,
I'll still be able to do it. But I'm just wondering. So it's the same it's the same assessment test, Abby, that everybody does.
Why is it the same? What do you mean?
So what
yes, the same, yes.
Okay. All right, no worries. Chances are not already if it's already platform here.
Well, she mistakenly submitted it on the platform. It wasn't supposed to be submitted to the platform. It was even just supposed to be a screenshot of the final results page.
Of the final thing.
Okay.
You went to send them. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Because it's supposed to be the score.
The score. That's what we expected. We're expecting. But
okay.
She mistakenly
I can still do mine now,
Africa.
I'll send to the class. To Mr. Ibrahim.
It's because you are Madam Aisha. Ordinarily, you cannot keep for your guy.
Hey, please, after maybe tomorrow, over the weekend, my boss, send if you have any material that can introduce PMP, GEM, and all of that. One on fresh exam. So I told him I was going to send him materials. One be consider send materials now. So it's possible that he will also want to join this class. So please, you can send me materials I can share with him. So that next week, we'll
want to join this one or the next one?
Join since we are just starting. Next one, Shagba. Only next
one is, I think that should be first week of April. I don't know if he's ready to do work. If he's ready to.
Okay, maybe you should wait for that class then. But next week of April is like 1.5 weeks from now.
I'll come. I will talk to you. Let you sing.
All right, sir. That's fine.
Mr. Muhammad, our market. Your face, your name is showing Ayom Malik. I'm not aware of an Ayom Malik in class.
I just discovered that now. It's one of my staff using this laptop before. So I'm going to change it now. Apologies.
So, Okay, so Mr. Muhammad, it's our normal custom that once we start the class, you tell us one thing you learned in the previous class. So can we proceed with that? Just tell us one thing. What jumped at you in the previous class?
What jumped at me in the previous class?
Yes, what's that one thing? I know you learned a lot, but just tell us one thing you learned in the previous class. Where are you, Sheikh?
Okay. Okay, the previous class further confirmed to me that not having PMP knowledge all this while is a journey on my own part, and I'm happy that I took this decision, and I know that I'm going to get a lot of value for the training, but the level of value I can get depends on my own level of input in consuming the material and doing assignments.
Okay.
but it has been a worthwhile experience.
Okay. If can you just tell me one quick reason why you think it's been a worthwhile experience?
Well, it will make me to be more structured.
Just one quick one. As in one quick thing.
It will make me to be more structured in anything I do.
Yes, I'm listening.
As it will make me to be more structured in anything.
Thank you very much. That's a quick one. All right. Thank you very much. That's a quick one. Thank you very much, Mr. Mohammed. Okay, Madam Olubumi. She's finally in class. So we are yet to know how. I probably even passed by her today that I did not know her. The same with Madam Oluwaseyi Aisha. I probably passed by her in class today, and maybe in the market or maybe in the central business district. I passed by her and then we did not know she was the one. We have a new person in class today. His name is Toye Ajani Abdul Hakim. So he will be introducing himself shortly. But before we go, let's continue our normal process. So Madam Oluwaseyi Aisha Aisa, tell us one thing you learned in the previous class. Quickly, please. Quickly. We want to finish class earlier today. We are trying to see if we can finish by 10. So, over to you, Madam Oluwaseyi.
Okay, so good evening.
You are muted, Auntie.
I have unmuted now. Can you hear me now?
All right. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so one thing that stood out that I remember from the last class is the quote on keep moving.
Okay.
So even if you are on the right track, you will get run over if you stay there.
Yes.
So for me, that is about continuous improvement, adding to yourself. You keep improving, even though you are.
Even if you think you are fine, if you think all is good.
Yeah. The truth is, a good number of times we agitate so much about being on the right track, but it doesn't end there. You need to keep moving, because the saying it says, if you sit still, you will get run over. So it's continuous motion, continuous improvement. I would like to put it like that.
Solid. Thank you very much, Madam Oluwaseyi. Madam Olubumi, our market. Hello, Madam Olubumi, are you with us? Madam Olubumi Ajayi, are you with us? Or you are down? Please let me call her phone. I don't know what's going on. She's in class, but she's not in class. Okay, so while we wait for Madam Olubumi, Toya Ajani Abdul Hakim, kindly introduce yourself to us. You have to switch on your video and tell us your name, tell us what you do, tell us why you are here. Did you just jam a particular Zoom link somewhere and you just click on it and you're in class? Or what exactly is going on? Quickly, please.
Okay. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Mr. Toya Ajani, are you there?
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Good evening,
sir. Can you hear me?
I can.
Yes, we can hear you. We can't see you.
Okay. You see me now. Just a second.
We can give you 10 seconds to go and do all those pancaking, you know. It is allowed.
No, I don't need this. Don't worry. Let me just get some light. Can you see me now? Is it clear?
Well, we can see something, not you.
Okay. Did
We
that
can
dark?
see something black.
It's quite dark.
Okay,
we are not sure it's you.
Okay, hold on.
Quickly, oh!
Make up. Hello, can you see me now?
Not yet. Your video is still off.
Oh, okay. I don't sound. How is it now? Is it clearer?
When you be woman, in fact, this is pitch black. Okay. Well, let's just proceed. Let's just proceed. We can't see you. Finally, we are attempting to see you. Now, proceed. Tell us your name. Tell us what you do. Tell us why you are here. What are your expectations? What do you take out of this discussion or engagement? Quickly, please. Quickly, you have 2 minutes.
Okay. Olatoye Abdulakim Ajani's name. I do basically IT business. Let me put it like that. I'm sure we understand what that means. And I also do fleet management. So, and I've been into IT for about not less than 15 years. You know, basically around server management, database, payment systems, configurations, you know, fintech and all that. So, and some of the reasons, I think the main reason I'm here, as my Oga at the top has asked me, is, as I'm sure it's the same reason why we are all here. So, but let me just say mine. Let me put it in my own words. I'm here because I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I realized that there's a lot of things we take for granted. You know, there are things that are supposed to be done. There are some things that are supposed to be done in a particular way for you to get results. But we keep doing it the wrong way. There are things that people have done. There are ways that we can get things done, like you can say copy and paste. You understand? That a fantastic layout, it laid down examples that we can follow for projects, for, I don't want to use the word project at this stage, but to get things done. You understand? So, but we find ourselves doing the same thing the same way, expecting a different result. It's not going to work. So I've realized that there's some skills that I need to just make things sharper for me, and, you know, pardon my choice of words, you know, that's the way I can put it now, you know. And I realized that one of those things is for me to have this knowledge. So I think I should stop at that. Is it explicit enough? Is this
In fact,
acceptable?
if we stop today's class at this point, I think we have tried. What you have said is sufficient as lesson for a whole day. Thank you very much, Mr. Toya Jani. Okay, Madam Olubumi, finally
Yes,
you are
sir.
with us now. What happened before I was calling your name? You know, answer.
I was shouting, yes, yes, sir. Probably is maybe network or so, I don't know.
No, you were muted. You were muted.
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay, oh yeah, quickly, tell us one thing you learned, you picked out of last class. Something. Tell us anything you picked out of last class.
Okay, what I picked out from last class was a quote according to Mike Tyson that says everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. The same goes with the project management. Not until you try it.
Okay.
You see it's easy, but it doesn't seem easy until you try it.
Okay. Madam, you know they read book, abi? These are the quote verbatim.
No, I'm not reading book.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying you have studied before coming. That's what I meant. You know that you are quoting quote verbatim. You want the oppressors, abi? Don't worry.
I'm not.
You go read, you go tire. Don't worry, you're just starting.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Man, they shake head, say, oh my God, see this madam. Let's see the apple. Okay. We have two very important items on our agenda for today. If we're able to achieve those two things, then we can start. Because up till now, we have not started the training at all. We have not started. I want to believe that by now, you all have access to your manuals. Is that correct? Madam Aisha, you have your manual, right? Mr. Muhammad, have you downloaded your manual? Do you all have your
Not
manuals?
yet.
But you know where to get it from, right?
Yes.
Yes, I suppose.
Yes.
You are supposing. Hey.
Yeah.
Mr. Toya Jani,
Yes,
welcome
yes,
once
yes.
again. Do you have your manual?
No, but I know where to get it. I've seen it.
Beautiful. So that manual is our holy grail in class. But we can't go there yet. We can't. We can't go there yet. I explained why we can't go there yet. Mr. Muhammad, what was my explanation?
Okay, the explanation was that we need to understand.
What was the explanation? You said what?
Yes, the explanation is that we need to. The explanation is that we want to cook up to an extent, do intro about PMB for us. So by the time we start going through the manual, we are already well prepared. We already have some understanding of the framework.
Yes, yes. If you go to, well, I don't have the page number off my head now, but if you go to, I think the first or second page in the main content, they made some powerful assumptions. They made some very powerful assumptions. If you have the book, you sit there. They said, when you are coming into this course, it is expected that you already have sufficient fundamentals, as in sufficient knowledge of fundamentals of project management, sufficient knowledge of fundamentals of agile methodology, and then sufficient knowledge of something. I can't remember the third one. Has anybody seen it? I'm trying to pull up the book. Please, part of the ground rules for this class is that anytime you are coming to class, your book should always be by your side. Your book, I've seen it. Can you see it under about this course? Okay, let me do a screenshot and send to you on WhatsApp.
Okay.
Okay, yes, I just dropped it for you on WhatsApp there. If you see it there, prerequisites. Thing is still losing, don't mind. Anyway, so as not to waste time, the most important thing here is that there are some prerequisites to this course, and it's going to be too expensive for me to. It's going to be too expensive for me to assume what they are assuming.
Okay.
Because they are assuming that you have very good basis in introduction to project management, very good basis in project management basics, and finally, introduction to agile. I cannot make such assumptions. I cannot make such assumptions. And that's the reason why I want to start by first of all taking us around those so-called taking the class. So for that reason, that's why we did what we did last class, and that's why we'll do what we want to do today. So today now, we want to just quickly rush through some form of more introduction to project management, and then more importantly, we want to go and blast the world of agile. Not blast like that now, as in give us fundamental principles. Though a lot of the principles that we will be discussing under agile, we would still discuss them in a lot of depth in class, a lot of depth, considerable amount of depth. But the problem is, these principles are being used, these terminologies are being used throughout the course, even before they are discussed in the book. So if you don't have the fundamentals, you will be lost when those things are being discussed, because You wouldn't even know where, okay, for example, we mentioned retrospective. If you do not have some fundamentals of Agile or of Scrum particularly now, you wouldn't know what retrospective means. You wouldn't know what, when you say sprint, some of us are really not familiar with some of all these terminologies. So we'll also discuss those terminologies well. So with the hope that, okay, yeah, so with the hope that that will serve as a good introduction for us. Like 10 minutes past 8. Before we get there, let's do some little content. Where did we stop last class? Where did we stop? Madam Oluwaseyi, where did we stop? What was the last principle we discussed? I'm not sure. I think it's here we stopped. But where did we stop? Do you have it close by?
It wasn't. It was the. I think we were looking at a chart that showed stakeholder involvement, and it was a chart, and we were trying to explain what the charts meant. That was where we stopped. You remember the chart? Yes, it was one that had, it looked at the different life cycles of a project, and there were some indicators. So along amount spent, stakeholder involvement, and one other, I can't remember.
Okay, correct. So I don't believe that as at that time we discussed what a project is, did we? Did we discuss the definition of a project last class, Madam Oluwaseyi?
Yes, we did.
Hello, Madam Oluwaseyi, did we discuss the
Yes,
the
yes.
definition
Can
of
you
a
hear
project?
me? We stopped. I think yes, we
Madam
did. It was shortly after
Ajayi, what?
the concept of the triple
Yes,
constraint.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Beautiful. How come nobody now mentioned it that as part of what we learned last class? Is it like you did not learn it or what? Madam Olubumi, oh yeah, I need your attention. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Madam Olubumi, are you with us?
I'm with you.
Okay. So, what is a project? Yes, I'm asking a question. What is a project? You don't have to give me textbook definition. What do you think a project is? Madam Olubumi, we are waiting. Any ideas? Okay, because of time. Madam Oluwaseyi, can you help us out? What's a project? Wait,
Okay, so
is my internet off? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yes,
so
I can hear you.
Okay. A project is you can describe a project as a
project is AM.
a predefined deliverable that has a start time and an end time, which is also expected to be run with within a budget.
Okay.
What am I missing?
Okay. Oh yeah, finish now.
So
you're on track. Finish now.
Yeah. So normally a project will have aspects that need to be controlled. So like I mentioned the budget, I mentioned time, risk, and resources.
Okay. Okay. So if you were to describe a project, what would you regard as some key features or characteristics of a project?
So
what would you regard as the key characteristics of a project?
There is a predefined unique deliverable.
Okay.
There must be a very clear end game in mind. There must be a start and an end time.
Okay.
There must be requirements that make the deliverable very clear and explicit.
Okay.
And there must be a group of people or persons that deliverable is meant for.
Okay. Now compare what you have said with this. Can you read this out to us now?
Sorry.
I said compare what you have said with this. Can you read this out to us?
I can't see anything. I don't know if it's me.
Am I not sharing my screen?
Unfortunately,
no.
I'm sharing my screen now.
No.
I'm not.
You're not.
That's strange.
I can't see anything.
How about like this? I'm sharing my screen now. Madam Luashe, can you see my screen?
No, I cannot.
Mr. Tuyajani, can you see my screen?
I can see it.
I don't know. I'm not sure what's wrong with my screen. I can't see anything.
I can see your screen.
Okay, Mr. Tuyajani.
I can see your screen.
Yes, I'm with you.
You can come back. I can't see your screen.
Characteristics of a project.
Auntie, maybe you should. Yes, they read it out to us, madam. Mrs. Oluwase, did you mind going out and coming back in?
Okay.
Proceed, Madam Lugbumi.
Characteristics of a project. 1.
Okay.
It has a specific purpose.
Okay.
2. It creates specific and unique results.
Okay.
3. It has a definite start and finish dates.
Okay.
4. It's temporary.
Okay.
5. It could be progressively elaborated as more is learned about the project details.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. What you have just read out to us now here is like a description of the fundamental characteristics of a project. Well, anyway, things are changing. But the key point here is that when you say a project has a specific purpose, the question is, if your purpose is not specific, what do you want to manage? If you do not have some particular results you want to get, how do you project? Because you want to increase the probability of achieving success. Now, can you manage when you don't even know the definition of success? Why you don't even know the definition of success? For example, you have left your house in Oshodi. Where are you going? You don't know. How do you get to where you are going when you don't even know where you are going? That is why it is critically important that when you want to work on a project, you clarify some basic fundamentals about the project. What exactly is the result I want to work towards? And then part of what makes a project is that it's not an operation. Operation in the sense that, like, you want to run a factory, you want to be producing the same results every single day. That's different. But project is, there is a goal, there is a target, there is a deadline, either soft deadline or hard deadline. But there is some form of quantification of the amount of work you want to put in, and matching that amount of work to the time that you want to put into it. Do you get that, Madam Olubumi?
Yes, please.
Good. So now, what is a project? Madam Olubumi, over to you. What is a project?
Okay. According to your explanation, we can say project is
Okay.
something that has a specific purpose.
Okay. Yes.
And unique results.
Okay. Yes.
It must also have a definite start and a finish date.
Yeah. Yes. Even that, then the last point of progressive elaboration comes in. What that means is that these things don't have to be cast on stone. Yeah. These things don't have to be cast on stone. It's not like the moment you agree on a start and end time at the beginning, the world will come crashing if it moves. No. At least you have some estimates to work towards. You have a plan that you want to act out, or that you want to bring life into. Not just abstract, I call it where Beleface approach. Wherein Oga, Oga, how long have I take? That's not project management. So project management will tell you that, okay, let us do some thinking before you start. Before you start, put in some thinking. Okay, how do we want to get this thing done? What do we need to do to make it successful? What exactly is even the definition of success? What exactly is the definition of success? Because a lot of times we make big mistakes when we go into endeavors with people. You go into endeavors, you don't have definition of success. You don't have clear results. In this case now, deliverables. What are the deliverables of this endeavor we are working on? You know, the killer points is a killer point here. Even if you have your deliverables, there's something else you should look out for. You know what it's called? It's called acceptance criteria. Madam Oluwaseyi, what do we mean by acceptance criteria? Madam Oluwaseyi, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
No, you are not. Okay. Madam Olubumi, we are back to you now. Okay.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
quickly. Tell us, what do we mean when we say acceptance criteria? What do you understand by that term? Oh, yeah, now. Yeah. It's English language. Don't worry. Forget about me for one polished definition. I don't even want polished definition. Tell us the words from your heart.
I think what acceptance criteria, okay, means is a project should be acceptable.
Okay. Okay. Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Mr. Ajani, you also want to say something?
Okay. I was going to add this, that my own understanding of acceptance criteria is basically how what are the what's the word now? The criteria that will be used to accept this project before pilot or go live stage. Pardon my choice of words. Have I made sense? That
yes,
there's a process of acceptance that we have to go through. Like, okay, before we can say this project we have succeeded, or we have achieved the required results. I mean, we should have a process in place, a criteria, such that we can run the project through that phase and now agree that yes, we have done like a UAT, user acceptance tests and stuff like that.
Yes, you are right. Let me modify your response. When we say anymore, we are looking at the deliverables of the project. Let me give you a scenario. Madam Olubumi is the project manager. I'm sure you must have heard that the son of the president, Yusuf Buhari, is getting married to a daughter of Emir of Bichi in Kano State. If you have not read it in the news, I read that yesterday. So, Madam Olubumi is the project manager for that event. Okay, now, she has been contracted to come and manage the whole stuff. Okay, Madam Olubumi now wants to, she's supposed to manage the event, yes, like I said. And she has been told to get a hall, ensure food is good, get invitation cards, blah, blah, blah. So those are deliverables. Okay. The first level of your being a professional project manager is that you want to get clarity around your deliverables. Madam Olubumi, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
What did I just say now?
You said as a project manager, as in someone that is to manage the wedding, you should get clarity around your deliverables.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, that's the
what
first
you just said.
Yeah. Get clarity around your deliverables. Do you understand why we use the word deliverable? Do you understand what we mean?
Yes, please.
Madam Olubumi, when we use the word deliverable, do you understand what we mean?
Yes, sir.
Give me 3 deliverables. Give 3 example deliverables in this case.
Is it in regard to the example that you just gave now, the wedding?
Yes. Just give me three examples. Yes.
Okay. The all invitation card.
The all, yes.
Catering.
Invitation cards, yes. Catering, beautiful. Let's pick catering as a case study now. Yes, no, let's stop at catering. Madam Olubumi. Now, okay. We agree that you are in charge of catering. So, your job in this case is to ensure that food matters are great. Abi, is that not what you mean by catering, Madam Olubumi?
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. But you're not done. That's a mistake a lot of us make. We are not done at that point. You have only cleared level 1. Level 2 is for you to now go to each of the deliverables and now say, okay, for this item, what are the characteristics, features, description, attributes, criteria for acceptance? Okay, for this thing to be acceptable to you, can you give me a clear description of how it will be? Such that if you want to mark my deliverable, which scheme of work, which marking scheme will you use to mark it when I'm done? So, Madam Olubumi, can you give me an example of some acceptance criteria for catering services that maybe the family of Buhari will give to you? Just give me 1 or 2.
Sorry, I'm thinking.
Keep thinking, keep thinking. We are chopping 2 minutes into our break. We're supposed to go on break now.
Sorry.
Oh yeah.
I think the local delicacies, that's their local food.
Okay.
What else?
Okay.
I can't remember.
Okay. Look at it in this direction. Acceptance criteria. Number 1, the food should be ready by blah 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 AM. Number 2, it should be a something course meal, with meal 1 being, meal 2 being, meal 3 being. Number 3, it should, what else now? What else? Yes now, ṣebí ẹ máa ń gba olópò.
There should be sufficient cutleries.
Sufficient words? I didn't hear now. Cutleries, yes. You understand? Yes. Ṣebí when you people get olópò, you don't give her terms of engagement ni. Ṣé you just say, yeah, come and cook, and that's all. Come and cook. Is that all? That's not all. So you're supposed to, this is just, I'm just saying all of these things for you, not talking about something from the sky. All of these things we are saying, we already do some of these things. Maybe we don't call them the right names. Maybe we don't call these things acceptance criteria. Maybe you don't call them deliverables. It is not the name that we need. It is the doing that we need. So the lesson we want to take out of this now is that when you're working on a project, get clarity around the deliverables, get clarity around your acceptance criteria. So let's stop at this point. Let's shake our hands, shake our body, take some water. So let's just rest for some 5-10 minutes and then we're back. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Hello? Ah, sorry. I took more time. Hello?
Hi.
Hello, sir.
Sorry. I apologize. I took more time. All right. Can we proceed now?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Muhammad, welcome back. How far? Hello, Mr. Muhammad. Are you? You are not sounding like you are with us.
Yes,
You are
I'm
far
here.
from us. Your audio is far from us. Okay, anyway. I can't hear you, Mr. Muhammad.
What about now? What about now?
Yes, well, barely. I can hear you barely.
It's 20. It's 20:30.
Okay. Okay. I'm trying to see. There's so much of introduction to do. I'm just trying to prioritize which one I want us to talk about now. Which one should we leave for another time? Yes, I think this is where we stopped. I can remember
Can you hear me
Mr.
clearly
Muhammad
now?
to explain this charts. Ha. I can hear you, but it's still sounding
What
distant.
about
It's
now?
sounding far.
Is it better?
Okay? Yes, I can hear you now. It can be better, but it's manageable. Okay, last class. Before we jump into Agile, last class we discussed some very important stuffs. We talked about the concept of processes. We define what the process is. Mr. Muhammad, do you remember what the process is?
Yes, I remember you talk about it.
So what is a process?
Is it based on what is on the screen?
No, you just tell me what the process is. Forget about it on the screen.
What I understand by a process is process of doing things.
That's not what the process is. So that's not the process. We defined the process in the last class. That's another fundamental principle that I want us to clarify before we proceed. Mr. Muhammad, I know
can't
you
remember.
now. Did you miss out? Madam Olubumi, you remember we discussed process?
Madam Olubumi.
Madam Oluwaseyi, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Did we discuss process?
We did.
Okay, so what's a process?
Okay, so you are defined this as a set of interrelated tasks or activities towards an outcome or a goal.
Okay. A set of activities, a set of actions towards achieving something. Yes, beautiful. Now, I explained something last class. I said,
and they are interrelated.
Yes. I explained something last class. I said that there was this quote from Henry Ford. Who remembers the quote? Madam Olubumi, our Mrs. Quote. What's the quote from Henry Ford? Can you remind us?
I can't remember.
Madam Olubumi now. I don't fall on my hand. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, this is it. Read it to us.
I can't remember.
Check the screen. It's there on the screen. Tell us.
Oh,
Check
okay.
it on the screen, yo.
Nothing is particularly hard if you divide it into small jobs.
Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So one modification of this is to say, never manage a big thing as a big thing. Always break things down. Project management is a whole huge combination of many things. It's just like saying world is a world. In this world, you have different continents. In each continent, you have different countries. In each country, you have different states or provinces. In each province or state, you have different districts or local governments. So, when you want to manage the world, you manage from the countries, from the continents to the countries, to the states, to the local governments. There's no one thing that you can be doing or that you can do that is called project management. There's no one thing that is called project management. Project management is a combination of multiple things that come together to say, okay, I am managing a project. Now, according to PMBOK 6, there are 49 of those things that if you are doing those things, you are managing a project. Madam Olubumi, how many did I call it?
49, sir.
Beautiful. That is the old syllabus, not the new syllabus. But I prefer to teach from some very important reasons, which I will still explain. According to PMI, PMBOK 6, there are 49 things. Those 49, as you are doing them, you are actually managing a project. Remember, there is no one thing called project management. Different things come together to form project management. All right. We discussed the concept of process groups last class. Madam Olubumi, is that correct? Did we discuss process groups?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What are the process groups we have?
We have scope.
What are the process groups that we have? Those are knowledge areas.
Oh, the process group.
Yes.
Okay. Initiating.
Okay.
Executing.
Okay.
We have planning.
Okay.
Closing.
Okay. One more.
Yeah.
One more. Monitoring and controlling.
Okay.
So, what did you just read to me? What are they called?
You said they are called processing group.
They are called process groups.
Okay, process group.
Groups of processes. Okay. Now, Madam Olubumi, remind me, what did we call a process? What's a process?
We said process, they can be actions or steps that are taken in order to achieve a particular goal.
Yes, a set of related actions, steps towards a particular goal. Now, and we are saying that there are 49 of them according to PMI in PMBOK 6. Now, Madam Olubumi, are you following?
Yes, sir.
These 49 can now be grouped into 5. Those 5 groups are called what, Madam Olubumi?
Processed groups.
Process groups. And what are those 5 groups?
Initiating. Planning. Executing. Monitoring and controlling. And then closing.
And then closing. So out of the 49, some of them belong to initiating. Out of the 49, some of them belong to planning. Out of the 49, some of them belong to executing. Out of the 49, some of them belong to monitoring and controlling. Out of the 49, some of them belong to closing. Is that correct, Madam Olubumi?
Yes, sir.
Good. But now, apart from the process groups, we now have another way of categorizing. Do you agree, Madam Olubumi, that you can categorize something, can categorize some things in more than one possible categorization system? Do you agree? Do you understand my question?
No, I don't, sir.
Okay, for example now, how many local governments do we have in Nigeria? Do you have an idea?
No, I don't.
Okay, we have 776 local governments in Nigeria. If you want to group the local governments, what are the
I can't hear you, sir.
What criteria can you use to group the local governments? If you say, for example, you want to categorize local governments into categories, which kind of categorization will you do? Just give me an idea. How will you group them?
Into local governments.
The local governments in Nigeria, the 776 local governments, if you want to group them, how will you group them?
That's if you want to group those local governments.
Yes. If you want to group them,
can we say you can group them into maybe states or something?
Beautiful. You can group them into states, Abi?
Yes.
Right. Can you think of any other categorization system apart from grouping local governments into states? What else can you group them into?
How about grouping them into? Oh, I'm just trying to. Okay, you group them yourself.
Huh? I don't understand. You have grouped them into states. Can you think of another grouping system for the local government?
Yeah, I said you can do that, sir. I'm trying to remember, but so we don't waste time. We don't have much time, sir.
Okay, Mr. Mahmoud, can you help us? Apart from grouping local governments into states, can you think of another way which you can group local governments?
We can group them based on their GDP, or group them based on alphabetical order.
You can group them based on the alphabetical order of the first character. Yes. You can group them based on economic, whatever, GDP. Yes. You can group them, say, oil producing, non-oil producing. Yes. You can group them according to geopolitical zone. Yes.
What I want to say, geopolitical zone.
So the same things can be grouped by multiple criteria. That's the purpose, that's the cocoa. Do we agree on that, Madam Olubumi?
Yes, sir.
So the same 49 processes can be grouped according to multiple criteria. Do you get that?
Yes, sir.
Answer me now.
And you said yes. You said it can be grouped into multiple criteria.
Yes. So the 49 processes. What is the first criteria we use to group it now that you grouped earlier? What's that one?
The first criteria.
Yes.
Is it still under the process group?
Yeah, I'm saying you grouped the 49 processes according to one particular criteria into process groups, right?
Yes, into 5.
What's that? Which criteria will you describe that? How will you describe that criteria you use? What's the criteria you used?
Can we say integration?
Maybe you grouped the 49 processes into initiating processes, planning processes, executing processes, monitoring and controlling processes, closing processes. Based on what criteria will you use to group? Did you use to group?
I don't understand, sir.
As what I'm saying is, if you have grouped them into initiating, planning, executing, blah, 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 that is one kind of categorization. Abi?
Yes.
Just like we group states, we group local governments into states. We can also group them according to geopolitical zone. So grouping into states has its own categorization system. Okay, we are using states. If we use geopolitical zone too, northwest, southwest, northeast, north central, south, southeast, that is another justification for grouping. Abi, Madam Olubumi?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, if we bring that into project management now, we said, according to PIMBOK 6, there are 49 processes. The 49 processes can be grouped in a particular way into 5.
Into 5.
Initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, closing. That's one way of grouping them, right?
Yes.
We now have another way of grouping them.
Okay, so what way, sir?
It's called knowledge areas.
Okay.
These are the knowledge areas. Do you mind reading them out to us?
Okay, do we have them on the... Okay, 1, project integration management.
1.
Project scope management.
2.
Project schedule management.
3.
Project cost management.
4.
Project quality management.
5.
Project resources or resource management.
6.
Project communication management.
7.
Project risk management.
8.
Project procurement management.
9.
Project stakeholder management.
10. Beautiful. How many seconds should I give you for you to be able to read out this 10 to me without looking at Iwe? How many seconds?
2 seconds. 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
All right. General assignment or classwork. I'm giving you 180 seconds, 3 minutes. So after 3 minutes, Emma Koleo, Africa. Mr. Mohammed, drop your pen. Are you there? I can see you, Mr. Mohammed. Drop your pen. Drop it. Oh yeah, your 3 minutes starts now.
Are we to say it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Integration management, scope management, communication management, resource management, stakeholders management, procurement management, quality management, schedule management, scope management, integration management, scope management, schedule management, quality management, resource management, communication management, stakeholders management, procurement management, risk management, resource management, communication management, quality management, schedule management, scope management, stakeholders management, quality management, cost management,
Procurement, stakeholder, communication, integrated scope,
My people, are you there?
Yeah.
Mr. Mamadou, are you with us? Okay. By my own time, it seems like 3 minutes here, but the paper right now. I mean, so.
Yes.
Madam Olugumi, she crammed the thing. Oh my God. Okay. Mini, money, more. Who make a call now?
Make a quick rush. Make a quick rush my own.
Mr. Ajani, Toya Ajani.
Let me rush my own before I forget. I can still see your screen. Yeah, I'm seeing your screen.
I am listening. No,
okay, so we have.
I hope I
even got the task right. I'm supposed to give us the list to read it out, Abby.
Yes.
So we have. So let me leave the project out. So we have integration management.
1.
Scope management.
2.
We have resource management.
3.
Quality management.
4.
Schedule management.
5.
Stakeholders management.
6.
Cost management.
7.
Resource management. Have I mentioned that earlier?
8. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
I think that's all I can remember. Sorry.
Okay. 8 over 10. Mark it yourself whether that is pass or fail. Okay. Let's call one more person. Madam Olubunmi. Yes. You were praying that you forget name. No, name is not forgotten.
Okay,
yeah.
1.
Your time starts now.
1, we have project integration management. Project integrations, project scope management. Project
2.
cost management. Project
3.
resource management.
4.
Project schedule management.
5.
Project communication management.
Yeah.
6.
Project quality management. Project stakeholder management.
7.
Project procurement management.
8.
Fantastic.
Project risk management.
Fantastic.
Have you said this before? No. Correct. Correct.
Ten.
Madam Olubumi, if it's sure for you, start again. If it's sure for you, start again.
Okay. Number 1, project integration management.
1,
Project scope management.
2,
Project quality management.
3,
Project cost management. Project resource management.
4,
5,
Project scheduling,
5,
schedule management. 6 now.
6. Now don't count.
Project communication management. Project
7,
procurement management.
8,
Project stakeholder management.
9.
Project risk management.
10. You have tried. Thank you very much. Well, in reality, I did that not because PMI will ask you that kind of question in the exam, but because these are part of those things. You don't forget that I said our being in class is not because we want to write the exam alone. And when you're on the field practicing, you probably will not have the luxury of having a textbook around you. So that's why, as much as you probably never ever hear me telling you to cram anything, but sometimes I would ask you to try to at least have some things close by. All right, thank you very much, everybody. Oh, I for spoiler, you know, call me. Okay, so Mr. Mohammed, can you explain what you are looking at now? What does it look like to you?
Okay. What it means.
Mr. Mohammed, wake up.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic.
Quickly.
Okay, so this table is a matrix. If you look at it critically, the top heading is process/areas, listing the different process group for projects. Then we now have the different phases from the initiation to the planning to the execution. So we now have the different phases from the initiation.
Those
yes,
are process
groups.
phases.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Faster.
Yes. Now different process groups. We have initiation, then planning, followed by executing, followed by monitoring and control, then followed by closing. And if you look at it critically, you see that the first one is initiating, which is developing the project charter. While the plan, then the last part is where we have the then followed by planning. I look at it, planning has a lot of activity because planning is one of the key elements.
Processes.
Okay. Planning has a lot of processes, which is very critical. And of course, if you still check other initiative, we have the identifying stakeholder. Then if you look at execution, depending on the different process groups, well, under integration, we have processes. Under quality, we have a process, which is to manage quality. Then under resources, we have some list of processes. Then communication, we have a process to handle. I look at it.
Thank you.
Communication is very key.
Thank you very much. You have spoken from one direction. You didn't speak from the other direction. The key thing I wanted you to spot here was the intersection between the process groups and the knowledge areas.
Knowledge areas.
You can see an intersection. So from here, you can see that it is the same 49 processes that belong to 5 process groups. Can you see that, Mr. Mohammed? Can you hear me, Mr. Muhammad?
Okay. Well, I didn't count the number. I can hear you, but I didn't count the number of processes, but I can hear you. So know that it's up to 49, but you said it's 49.
I said the same 49 processes can be divided into 5 along process groups and can be divided into 10 along knowledge area. Do you get that, Mr. Muhammad?
Yes, I got that.
Beautiful. I think at this point, it's safe to assume that we have completed part 1 of today's class. Let me have your questions at this point before we proceed. Questions? Any question? Madam Oluwaseyi, how far? Shey you enjoying yourself?
I'm sure here.
And it is law.
I'm here. You
You
did
are
not hear
shy
me.
here. All right. Anyway, Sha continue to... Yes, I Sha had you now, and I said you should Sha continue to enjoy yourself.
Oh.
Okay,
Yes,
okay. At this point, I think we have completed the first part of our class into the next part of our class. Okay, you come in, please. I want to share something else. Okay. I'm sharing my browser. I don't know if you can see it. What? Let me find it. I'm currently sharing my browser. I'm coming. I'm loading up the slide.
We can see the loading.
What you can't do this guy now? Sorry, I'm currently loading up this thing. Seems like I have an issue with my connection. Unfortunately, I can't change my connection. Can you know? Listen, too slow. Sorry, few minutes once. I don't know why it's not within all these lines. Let me send that to you. Okay. Take out this time. Stretch your hands, stretch your legs, so that we know we're not going on another break again. So permit me to cancel our break, our second break.
Right.
I just dropped the link to this. I just dropped the link to the slides on the group. I don't know. Have you seen it? Can you see it there?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so kindly open. Oh. Just not opening on this computer at all. Ini dah batang Zoom nama ada. Yeah, I don't understand this one. Okay, I'm almost done. Sorry for the. So, uh, we are officially on break. Oh, at least till the next like 3-4 minutes.
Okay.
So, I can't explain why this thing is not working. Did you take my BlackBerry?
Excellent.
Oh yeah. Hello, let's resume our class. Sorry. In fact, sometimes infrastructure will just fumble. Okay. Can we resume now? Can we end our break? Mr. Mohammed, are you ready? Are you back from break? Oh yeah. Let's get back.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So it is assumed that at this point in time, we already have an idea of an over-the-top idea of project management. So let's take that further now. Let's take that further. This is just 15 slides, and I will try not to take your time with it. I can discuss it in 5 minutes. I can discuss it in 1 hour. I can discuss say 15 slides in 24 hours. It depends on the level of detail in which you want to go into. So, but because I want us to finish early, I want us to finish around 10 o'clock or past 10. I will discuss it in 45 minutes. So help me God. All right, so agile project management. A very quick overview.
Enter to Bluetooth.
There are 3 forms of managing a project. You have what is called predictive, you have adaptive, and you have hybrid. What is generally regarded as project management, according to PMI, ordinarily, is actually the predictive model. And that is the reason why when you hear syllabus change, the syllabus change is largely around moving the focus of project management from the current predictive model to include adaptive and agile. What does it mean when you say predictive model? It means that, Madam Oluwaseyi, please confirm that you are following.
I am, sir.
Beautiful. When you say predictive model, what it means is that You want to start a project. And right from this point in time, you already have a clear or almost clear idea of how you want to carry out the project. You already have a clear or almost clear idea about how long it will take, how much will it cost, how much resources do I need. You already have a clear or almost clear idea such that you can even write a project management plan. That's one. Then two, if you look at this diagram here, what do you notice? You would notice that the predictive model is also called waterfall, wherein you are building a solution. I am the vendor. You are the project manager. We say the solution will take 4 months to build. And then at this point in time, in which you sign off the project, bye-bye. See you in 4 months' time for you to come and deliver the whole solution in 4 months' time. So that is the predictive model of managing a project, in which you want to do database work, then you do back-end work, then you do front-end work, then you do testing, then boom, project is ready. You want to launch. That is the predictive way of managing a project. The other way of managing a project is called adaptive. What makes this adaptive or agile is the fact that you don't want to wait till you are done with the project before you have a form of the deliverable that is ready to use and you can give it to the customer. I don't know if you understand what I just said.
No, sir. Can you please come again?
Predictive model. Okay, let's use this example. Can you see my screen, Madam Olubumi?
Yes, sir.
Madam Olubumi, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen, sir.
Good. If you can compare what you are looking at with this, what do you notice? Compare this with this. What do you notice?
I noticed for the predictive.
Okay.
It goes from down to the top.
Well, yes, but not necessarily. Madam Olubumi, is the fact that when you are doing agile, you have multiple points in which you go and show what you have done to the sponsor or stakeholders. The goal is that at some specific point in time, you want to create something which is a miniature version of the big deal or the product itself. The goal is that, unlike in this case, wherein you don't have anything concrete to show until you are finished. It is at this point in time that you have something to show to the customer. Compare and contrast with this one, in which, in fact, note that the duration is the same. Note that the duration is the same. In this case, let's assume that this has a total duration of 4 months. Let's assume that that one has a total duration of 4 months. Okay. The same with this. This one too has a duration of 4 months, but there's a difference in the approach. The difference is that while in predictive, it is at the end of the 4th month wherein they have completed the job. That is when they will be coming to show you the work. But in the form of agile, they would have agreed on some specific intervals. For example, they can say every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. What they have done so far, they come and present it. So the goal for those who are doing something is that as at the time they want to go and present a miniature version of the whole thing, they want it to actually be a miniature version of the whole thing. Madam Olubumi, do you understand what I just said?
Sir?
Do you understand what I just said?
Well, little.
Can you see the image of the sheep on this slide?
The sheep?
Sheep.
Yes. Yes.
What do you notice about it?
At the first stage, looks smaller.
Okay.
Second stage is getting bigger.
Okay.
Third keeps increasing. The fourth and to the last stage.
Beautiful. What can you take out of that?
Okay. We may say in agile, at every stage, you have something to show. The work is in progress.
Yes. So agile has a way of making you aggressively pursue feedback. For example, now, Madam Olubumi, imagine if as at the time you came to show the deliverable, which is sheep 2, then we realize that there's a fundamental error in what you are doing. You can easily correct it.
Yeah.
Unlike the other approach in which you are waiting till the end of 4 months for you to be able to say, okay, this is what I have done. So what I've explained now is the bare bone fundamental principle of agile. Do we have anybody in class who does not understand? Mr. Muhammad Alpha, are you with us?
I'm here, Gidiga.
Do you understand what we have been explaining?
Yes.
Can you kindly put it in your own words? Let's hear from you.
Understand. Okay. From the explanation that project management is of different types. Based on the initial syllabus that we have the predictive model, and why they are changing syllabus and updating is to flow with the current trend of managing project, which is agile. And that predictive also means waterfall, that everything is predetermined, while agile is a way of managing project that makes it easier to get feedback, and based on the feedback, there can be iteration and the project can be improved. So we don't need to wait for 4 months or 6 months, depending on the project duration, before we can be able to have a feel of the project, give feedback. When I say have a feel, the target audience can have a feel, the stakeholder can have a feel and give feedback, and based on that, the project can be improved, which is a more smarter way of actually handling projects, especially in some set of industries. And from the picture, you can see that the ship is becoming bigger based on the ship version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4, version 5, which makes a lot of sense. And that is what I understand from the explanation, and also from my own previous experience in managing projects, even though I'm not yet a PMP certified person. But it's an awesome section. The content is very interesting.
Moment, can you read out this slide?
Okay. Agile project management.
Someone help us read out this slide.
And okay, agile project management, an integrative approach to managing software development projects that focuses on continuous releases and incorporating customer feedback with every integration.
Say what?
With every iteration.
Correct. Can you explain in your own words?
Okay. Well, in my own word, is an approach for managing products that has to do with continuous improvement based on customer feedback. Because what I learned about products is that it's what your customer uses your products for that is your product. The same way we have toothpick. When they are designing toothpick, it was not designed to be used for picking suya, but the customer is using it to pick suya. And that is why the integrative approach is very good. So by the time we launch it to the market, we see consumer behavior, we can integrate it accordingly. Especially in a place like Nigeria, we know how to, when they say this is used for A, you can use it for A, B, C, D. That's the explanation in my own words.
You went blank for some time. We weren't hearing you. Some moment.
Okay. I said in my own word, it's a smart way of managing projects based on customers' feedback. So that based on the feedback, it can be improved, which makes it very key because customer is a key stakeholder when it comes to software-oriented projects.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. But are we saying that we don't get feedback when we are doing predictive project management, Mr. Moment?
That's why I said when it comes to agile project management, it's not for every type of product. And that is where we have quality control, even when we are doing predictive project management. But when it comes to agile, it enables us get consumer feedback on time because we need to release it to the market. Then based on the feedback, we improve it. That does not mean that for other type of projects, maybe construction project, that the key stakeholder does not do quality control, assurance, or measurement at whatever stage of the project. Those English I use will not be correct, but gradually I'm learning those PMP English because there is a stage where the stakeholder need to
not like what?
If it's a construction. I said those English I'm using are not perfectly correct using the PMP standard, but I'm just learning those English. I'm just using my own English. When I talk about quality control, quality assurance check. Because for a construction-oriented building, you are not going to construct a house and say it's still in coach 4 that people should start using it. But of course, there are still some check that will be carried out while the construction process is ongoing at different stage of the project. Then once the building is completed, they will still do stakeholder review before final handing over, either in local or international markets. So, but some projects are more agile oriented than the other. Let me put it that way.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Let's focus on our slides now. Madam Oluwashe, are you still with us?
Yes, sir, I am.
Beautiful. 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 Okay, so we'll be discussing waterfall, and then we move on to discuss agile project management. It is an iterative approach to managing software development projects that focuses on continuous releases. When you say the word continuous releases, what do we mean, Madam Oluwashe?
Okay. Continuous releases would mean so probably testing, if I can put it like that. Test after test. So you
Okay.
work on it just like, sorry?
I'm listening.
Yes, you work on it. So for example, I can also say, if I refer to the diagram that was on the previous slide, that
Okay.
between version 1 and version 2, it was probably a period of testing, feedback, which is incorporated into the previous version to arrive at the next version, which is also tested, feedback incorporated, then which leads to the next version, which is tested again. So that is the continuous improvement cycle, which I don't know. Okay, I think what they call iterations.
Okay. 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 Iterations. Iterations. All right. Let's jump right in. Okay. The term agile refers to, you want to say something? The term agile refers to the methods and best practices for organizing projects based on values and principles documented in the Agile Manifesto. The Agile Manifesto came about around early 20 or something. Some people came together and felt, no, the way we are working is not appropriate. And then each organization went in to create something for themselves. Okay. Different types of agile methodologies. The term agile refers to the methods and the term agile refers to the methods and best practices for organizing projects based on the values and principles documented in Agile Manifesto. However, there is no one right way to implement Agile. In fact, there are different types of Agile methodologies which you can choose from when organizing your project. What this is telling us essentially is that there are different, which word should I use? There are different circumstances. I mean, that's the right word. No, that's not the right word.
Yeah, proof.
What I'm trying to drive at here is that agile is not the name of a tool. It's actually how do you call it? It's actually a set of principles. Agile itself is not the tool. It is a set of principles. A set of principles. So those principles can now be implemented. It can now be implemented in a way that suits your context. That's why you find out that there are different types of agile. Like you can see here, Scrum, Kanban, extreme programming, feature-driven design, dynamic systems, product development systems, and more. Okay. So we have discussed Agile. We have discussed the different types, like an overview of what we mean when we say types of Agile methodology. The next thing we want to discuss here are the various types. The following 7 are the most common. They are the most common. These are there are
Most
many,
common,
many.
sir.
Yes.
You said most, so there are more than
common.
this.
Yes, they are more than this. They are different. They are more than this. But these ones are the most common. And out of all these 7 that are most common, Scrum, which is number 1, is the most common. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So that's the reason why in this training we'll be discussing Scrum. We'll be discussing Scrum, yes, correct. Okay. So what is Scrum? Mr. Toya Jani, can you help us? What is Scrum? Mr. Toya Jani, are you with us?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Scrum is an agile framework for developing, delivering, and sustaining complex products, with an initial emphasis on software development, although it has been used in other fields, including research, sales, marketing, and advanced technology. Scrum is a lightweight framework that helps people, teams, and organizations generate value through adaptive solutions for complex problems.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. Like I explained, I said there are different project management methodologies. They all differ in the way things are executed. They do not differ on the core principles. You've just read out what Scrum actually is to us, which is the most popular agile. How do I explain?
Your audio, hear you clear, louder than this.
Hello, am I clear now?
Yes.
Yes.
What did you hear last? What did you hear last, or I should just continue?
Continue, we are hearing you.
Okay. I was trying to give a justification for why we are discussing Scrum. And I said because it is the most popular. It's the most popular one out of all of them. I'm sure if I ask all of us now, which of them have you seen before? Some of a vast majority of those who have seen something before, it is something you are looking at something direction of Scrum. So Scrum is a lightweight framework that helps people, teams, and organizations to generate value through adaptive solutions for current problems. Okay, so that's a general sorry, that's a general. Now let's talk about some terminologies under noise. Noise somewhere. Mr. Mohammed, can you hear me?
Yes, clearly.
Beautiful.
Same here.
Now, okay. Now we have discussed Scrum. Let us now discuss some terminologies that are related to Scrum. The core of Scrum is in what we call sprints. sprints are short time boxed period when the Scrum team works to complete a set amount of work. Sprint is like a core aspect of Scrum. So, Madam Olubumi, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Can you see a relationship between what we are seeing about sprints and diagram we saw earlier?
What diagram, sir?
This one now. Can you
Okay.
see?
Yes, sir.
Madam Oloshe, did you get my question?
Yes. So I would say that these iterations, so for example, I can say that version 1 is an iteration, version 2 is an iteration. So maybe all of this can be in a sprint, or one can be a sprint, depending.
Exactly.
That's what I understand.
Exactly. So the way it works is each of these things you are looking at, they are sprints. Every single one of them, they are sprints. So, Madam Oluwaseyi, at the end of sprint 1, what did we produce?
Version 1.
Version 1 of this project delivery. Say it like that.
Sir?
I said, say it as we at the end of the first sprint, we created the version 1 of the project deliverable.
Yes. Okay. So at the end
Yes,
of
the ship, yes.
sprint 1, we created version 1 of the project deliverable.
Beautiful. So that's what it's meant when you say short time box period. So, Madam Oluwabumi,
Yes, sir.
Olubumi,
yes, sir.
if you look at what we call a sprint now, it's like saying, rather than commission that developer to go and spend 4 months building a software, such that it now comes back to you 1 week, the end of 4 months. Rather than do that, why don't you just tell him, say, okay, or guy developer, can we meet every 2 weeks? So if he agrees that we should meet every 2 weeks, then you say the first meeting is when? Okay, Saturday, 2 weeks time. The next question is, what fraction of what we want to do would you have done by that time that it will be ready to give to me to work on? Do you get that, Madam Olubun?
No, sir.
Okay, but did you hear what I said?
You were saying something about the sprint. The sprint 1. That's the first version. That's version 1. And then you said the developer and the client, or I don't know, them setting a meeting for 2 weeks after the version 1.
Okay.
And then you said, what would the developer come up with before that 2 weeks?
Okay. Thank you very much. Look at it this way. You have a 4-month project. Option 1, once you give the developer the money and say, yeah, go and start, you are supposed to finish by 4 months time or 3 months time. Okay. Now imagine a situation whereby rather than expect your deliverable in 4 months time or before weeks time, either way, you are now told that, okay, let us be doing review meeting every Saturday, Sunday, Friday, wherever, wherein you review the progress or the completion of tasks on your calendar, putting priority on. Okay, look at it this way. Okay, they said sprints are at the very heart of Scrum and agile methodologies. Okay, sprint at the very heart of Scrum and agile methodologies. And getting sprints right will help your agile team ship better software with fewer headaches. Madam Olubumi, you are yet to get the key point I'm trying to pass across. The key point I'm trying to pass across here says that rather than wait till the whole project has finished, wait till the developer is done with all of the projects, all of the coding, are you able to schedule some meetings at some specific time intervals such that at the end of time interval 1, it brings it to say, Oremio, this is what I have done so far. This is how much I have made. And then the same with season 2, with sprint 2, sprint 3, like that. So rather than having a prolonged, elongated span of time, the approach now is, can you break it up into small components? Let's say, okay, 2 weeks. 2 weeks, for example. And in those 2 weeks, you are focusing only on what is supposed to give you value. Are we following? You are focusing only on what's supposed to give you value for those 2 weeks.
On only what?
I said for those 2 weeks, let's say for example, you have a sprint that is 2 weeks, 2-week sprint. Do you understand what a sprint is?
Yes.
Good. So rather than having 4 months for the developer to collect money and then go and start coding, are you able to say, okay, let us break it down. If there are 20 things that you're supposed to do as part of delivering the solution, let us break it down. Between now and 4 months' time, how many weeks do we have? Let's say we have 14 weeks, or let's say we have 12 weeks. Okay. If you have 12 weeks,
yes.
What this means is that, can we break down the 12 weeks into 2-week periods? And
yes.
Then if you are supposed to have 20 different deliverables or 20 features of the same deliverable, can you now break down those features into something you can slide in and out of sprints? So for example, let's assume that we want to start our sprints now. Okay? The issue is, you now look around to say, out of all the features they say they want, which one should we work on now? So we'll come back to that. It's called the backlog documents. Madam Lubumi, am I making it complicated for you?
You are, sir.
Okay. Let me explain again. The conventional way in which you will manage a project is that, okay, let me add, the agile methodology will not work in every industry. Let me also add that. Maybe that's why you are not understanding. Maybe it's not relevant in your industry.
Okay.
There are some industries in which it can't work. What I mean by it can't work is that in some industries, it might be difficult for you to conceptualize. It might be difficult for you to say some form of it is ready.
Yeah, I'm done with this stage. And
hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Yes, I said in some cases. That's why you see us mentioning software a lot. In some cases, it might be difficult. Okay, for example, look at construction now. The way construction works is that it is predominantly predictive in nature. Do you understand why it is predictive in nature, Madam Olubumi?
Yes.
Yeah, explain. Why are we saying construction industry is largely predictive?
Because you would have estimated the cost of completing the project.
Okay.
And the necessary tools that will be needed for the completion of the project.
Okay.
You already know them.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, thank you very much. The key point I'm trying to drive at here is that in the construction industry, they are largely predictive, because even before they bring anybody to site, they already have elaborate plans. They already have elaborate this, elaborate that. They already have an estimation of total number of blocks you would need. They already, so to some extent, their own situation can easily is almost like they can pre-see as much as possible. Okay? They can pre-see as much as possible. That's why it would be a bit difficult for them to use sprints in construction for core construction work, not administrative work. Madam Olubumi, are you following?
So that means we can say that this agile model is mainly for software production.
It started mainly for software, but right now it can you can use it for so many other things. In fact, almost
like
everything.
Like
okay. Now, Madam Olubumi, you want to manage a project. There are 17 different requests. Do this, change this, make this able to do this, make this able to do this. You get my point now, Madam Abi?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, you and your team, you are the ones responsible to ensure that the job gets done. Okay? Now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Would you now, if you look at it now, you want to get the job done. Two approaches: predictive or agile, adaptive. If you go for agile, what this means is you want to compile all the list of what you want to get done. You want to compile it somewhere. That document is called your backlog. By the time you compile it somewhere, then you rearrange in order of priority. After you have done this rearrangement, when you want to start a sprint, you go into your backlog to say, yeah, what are the next set of high priority tasks that I want to work on? What are the next set of high priority tasks that I want to work on? And then he handles that request. And out of all the 20...
Sorry, sir. Is it the backlog? Is it the backlog that are compiled into sprints?
Read backlog. Yeah, read this slide.
Okay, a product backlog is a prioritized list of work for the development team that is derived from the roadmap and its requirements.
Okay.
The most important items are shown at the top of the product backlog, so the team knows what to deliver first.
Yes. So you have, of course, now when you want to work on a project, you definitely have, I want this, this is how this should be, this is how this should look, this is how this should work.
Yes.
Exactly. So what we are saying now is the project manager should have a comprehensive list of all of these things.
Okay.
And then arrange them, put the order in the order of, as in the priority. You have to say, okay, well, high priority items should be on top, should be above the low priority items. Do you get that?
Yeah.
Good. So now your 4-month project that you have planned, that you want to embark upon, you have the option of going 4 months, single blast, boom. And then at the end of the 4th month, your product is ready. You want to go and show it to customer. Say, customer, we are done. That's option one. Down those 4 months into what we call sprints. So sprints, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Are you following, madam?
Yes, sir.
So when you now break it down into sprints, what happens is that at the beginning of each sprint, you are going into that your list to pick some set of things to get done. That list of this is what we want, this is what we want, this is what we want. That list is what will guide you in getting work done because that's been prioritized. I believe so, madam.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Exactly. So when you have the work that you want to do, beautiful, then go into the next sprint of 2-3 hours or whatever. So what we mean here is that rather than managing project in one full swoop, boom, can we break it down such that at those tiny spaces, we're able to get feedback. Look at feedback. Madam, explain. What's the difference in capacity for feedback in this model and this model? What's the difference in capacity for feedback in this model and this model? What do you think?
That's the agile model and the waterfall model.
Yes.
Well, according to what you said for the waterfall model, that when you start the project, you don't get to, show maybe the owner or the stakeholder the results until you are done with the project.
Okay.
While for the agile model,
okay,
at every stage, you get to tell your customer
at the end of a sprint.
Yes, okay. At the end of a sprint,
yes,
you tell your customer the results of or the outcome of of your. You understand?
Yeah.
So
yeah, thank you very much. Do we have questions from other people? It's 10 o'clock already. Do we have questions? Mr. Toya Jani, you have questions?
Yes.
Please proceed quickly.
I was about to write. Okay. So the question is, I have two questions. So the first one is, you said there are some industries where French won't fly.
Where what?
French won't fly.
Is it me? Me, I can't hear you. Where French flies? What's that?
French won't fly. Like where French can't, where the
yes, where French won't fly. Yes, correct.
So that's one. I would like to have an idea so that probably we because understand this better. Then instead of adaptive method under the which is agile. At every point, at every time you let me on this.
Let's do
at every time you deliver on a sprint. You'd go back to the stakeholders, like to show them correct.
Okay.
So my question is, I'm thinking of these sprints that won't be that needs into something else to make sense. So at what time do you determine when to show it to a stakeholder? I have a sprint. We've broken these things down into sprints. I hope I understand what sprint. And I'm not making it up. So if sprint
again, please. Again, please.
Okay, let me go like that. What I said is, we have to deliver on some. If you have to deliver on, if you have some sprint, like you have a sprint that you're supposed to show a stakeholder or project sponsor, as the case may be. Is that clear?
Yes, yes.
There are times, I want to believe there are times that what you have done really doesn't make sense to the project sponsor. You understand?
Okay.
Like you have done something that needs to be plugged into another sprint for it to now make sense. There's something I'm. Okay, let me explain what I understand by sprint.
All right.
We
Please,
said
quickly.
sprints are I mean putting a short time to deliverables, making I want to believe they are small instead of having to do everything at once. So we can prioritize, do some backlogging, so to say, and say, okay,
backlogging would have been done originally at the beginning. Yes. So as at the time you have done your backlog, what you would have also done is that you will have had a rough idea of saying, okay, if we do sprint one, we should pick item 1, 2, and 5 from the backlog. All things being equal, we should be able to complete it in sprint 1. In sprint 2, you understand? And the reason why I said 1, 3, and 5 is that at the end of completing 1, 3, and 5, you should be able to say, now I have created a miniature version of the full deliverable.
Yeah.
You get that, Mr. Toya Jenny?
Yeah.
At the end of sprint 1, you should have said, okay, a fraction of the whole deliverable is ready. And then you go into sprint 2. Sprint 2 uses items 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. You understand? At the end of sprint 2, you should have another enhanced version of the previously miniature version of the full deliverable.
Now I get
that, Mr.
Yeah. It's clear. I think it's
you
clear.
get that, Mr. Toyajani?
Yes.
Madam Olubumi, how far?
Yes.
Do you have it clear now?
It's clear. Yes, clear, sir.
Okay. So we just discussed sprints now. Madam Olubumi, for me to be sure you understand, how will you describe sprints to your firstborn? Obaton. Hey! Kezin dan kanle. Oh yeah. Okay, how will you simplify it? Just simplify.
Okay.
If you cannot explain it in a simple way, then it means you don't understand it yet.
Okay.
Because don't forget, all of these things still key into what we've always been saying. Never manage a big thing as a big thing. Always break things down. If you understand a principle of how Scrum works, you'll be able to implement it at some things that are so weird in your life or weird in your office, and you will get results. That's the funny thing about it. You will get results. Because there are lots of benefits to using the adaptive model of project management over predictive. But of course, I agree that both of them have the advantages and disadvantages anyway. So, Madam Olubumi, over to you.
Yeah. Okay. You said I should break it down.
Yes, no. I said you should. I was asking you about sprints.
Yes.
Hello?
According to what
I said, what is a sprint?
you said, it's a small box where you compile the list of the things that you want to do.
Okay.
By prioritizing them. Maybe you have like 10 lists of what you want to do. You now pick like 1, 2, 4, and now put them in a sprint and test to see if what you have done can be delivered.
Okay. Okay.
And then you also said it's a miniature of the whole project.
Yes, what you are creating at the end of it.
Yes, so what you are creating,
a
yes.
miniature version of the whole project. Correct. Correct. Madam Oluwaseyi, I hope you are following us in HD.
Yes, sir.
Any questions so far?
At this point, no. So,
Yeah.
I suppose that as we
Yes.
go on now, I will have questions. We have
Okay.
mentioned product catalog. I mean, sorry, product backlog.
Yes.
But there were also some other things that I saw in the pre-assessment tests that
Okay.
yeah. So it's
Okay.
beginning to make sense much more. So I'm sure I'll have questions as we go on.
Okay. So now we know what sprint is. We know that, okay, rather than work in one monolithic schedule to say we'll finish in 4 months time and then we disappear, and then when it is 10 days to the 4 months due date, we just see our email or see our phone call. That's one approach. Okay. There's something they call sprint planning. At least now we know what sprint is. So sprint planning is the kind of situation. They call it one of the ceremonies of sprints. Those the word ceremonies.
Audio is low.
Okay. Bye, hello.
Bye,
Hello.
okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, Mr. Mohammed, how is it from your side? Is it clear? Can you hear me?
Okay.
All right. So we know what a sprint is. Now, okay. Now, we said in managing the project, you pick from a backlog and then you use sprints to get things done. You assign some of the work into one sprint. You assign some of the work to another sprint, like that, like that, like that. Okay? But then, there's something called sprint planning. Mr. Mohammed, what is sprint planning? Read from the slide.
Sprint planning is an event in Scrum that kicks off the sprint. The purpose of sprint planning is to define what can be delivered in the sprint and how that work will be achieved. Sprint planning is done in collaboration with the whole Scrum team.
Okay. New what? Okay. Sprint planning is okay an event in Scrum that kicks off the sprint. We understand the central role that the sprint plays in Scrum, in Agile generally. Of course, you agree that you can't just start a sprint and then boom, you are just there, just rushing through things. No. You do sprint planning before you start your sprint. And it's just like any other meeting you know of, but in this case, it's super focused on getting clarity for the sprint you want to start. Okay, the sprint will be starting tomorrow.
Question, sir.
Okay.
So, the sprint planning comes before the sprint, right?
Yes.
So, at what point do you develop or prepare the product backlog?
Beautiful.
During the sprint planning or even before
Product
that?
backlog is like it's like your activity list. Do you remember activity list, Madam Luashe?
Okay.
It's like a collection of what is to be done.
Is it activity list or more like requirements?
Benny, requirements no need.
Okay.
In fact, they
Clear.
actually call
Clear,
user
sir.
stories, but I don't want to bombard you with too many terminologies. That's why I'm trying to make tonight's class as simple as possible and as terminology light as possible. They actually call user stories.
Okay.
They actually call user stories. So you have
sorry, they actually call it. There's a background noise.
User story. User story.
Sorry?
User story.
Oh, so that's the user story.
They are called user stories.
All right.
You said what, Mr. Moment?
Sorry, which one is user story?
User story.
What do you call?
User story is like, I want this. Change this. Like requirements.
Yes, that's what your backlog contains.
Okay, is it the same thing as the product backlogs?
The product backlog contains a listing of your user stories and requirements.
Okay.
User story. I want this. I want this. This is how I like it. This is how I do this. But the way they craft user stories is different from the way they craft requirements. User stories are called user stories because they are written in a story form from the perspective of the user. And that's one of the reasons why Agile tends to always create a more quality product than predictive. Because Agile is user fanatic. I don't know if you understand what I mean by that. It does so much trying to think like the user. And that's why when you have user stories. So part of your work as somebody who wants to manage an agile project, is that you're supposed to convert the requirements you receive into user stories. We'll get there, don't worry, we'll get there. Such that you want to see the requirements in a new light. Because don't forget that a lot of times when you understand where the story is coming from, you understand what they want to achieve from it, you're able to bring it to life in a better way. Madam Olubumi, are you following, Sha?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Rara,
sir.
Oga Muhammad, you are looking like somebody who wants to go and sleep.
No, I'm with you.
Are you sure?
I have to on my AC so my eye can be clear. I have to on the AC so my eye can be clear. I'm with you.
Okay, we'll go on now. We're supposed to finish, but it's fine. We're almost done. This why you go down and look say, hey, who say we can't join this class like this? You go down and look and say, you tell me what they joke so should go. Kilo outcome go down like a guy, right? Okay.
I'm here. So far, I've been interested.
Sincerely, all these things we are discussing. Hey, if I'm able to successfully simplify these things for you, you are going to love it a lot. Because this is how things work in the real world. Predictive model is most suitable for maybe engineering, construction industry, engineering industry. Yes, they will enjoy predictive a lot. But the reality is, apart from those worlds, all of us in the other worlds deal with so many uncertainties that what is most realistic for us is to use a more flexible project management methodology that can allow us despite uncertainties. Madam Olubumi, do you understand what it means to make progress despite uncertainties?
Yes.
Explain.
making progress
despite
despite
uncertainties.
And that's where this agile model comes in.
How does agile come in this case?
Because with this model, it can help you distribute those uncertainties into smaller units.
No, not from that perspective. Look at it from the perspective of saying, Madam Olubumi, you don't have the full answer to all the work of the project.
But because you don't have the full answer, you can break them down.
Okay. Yes, that's the point. So you only need to bother your mind about what you want to get done in the next sprint.
Yes.
You understand? So the goal is you have that firm belief that keep going. As you go, you will see more. Then you will be able to move again for another sprint.
Absolutely.
You understand? So that's the idea. That's the idea. Unfortunately, it's just like in software now. You can't just sit down and say, okay, it will take me 5 minutes, 5 weeks to complete it. Sometimes it might not be so super clear and easy like that. You are dealing with a lot of uncertainties. So many things can fumble at the time. So that's why you now say, okay, let us plan our progress in sprints. Of course, you have your backlog, your giant list of what you want to do, of user stories. And at the beginning of each backlog, all of you will sit down again and say, okay, oh yeah, how far? You want to start another sprint now. Oh yeah, Mohammed, oh yeah, bring the backlog. Let's see, what have we done? What have we not done? Okay, we have done 1, 2, 7, 12, 19. Okay, these 2 week sprints, okay, let's pick 2 high priority items and 1 non-high priority item. And then you pick, and then the sprint starts. So that discussion at the beginning of this new sprint, to be able to now define what you want to get done in that sprint, is called your sprint planning meeting. Your sprint planning meeting. Then backlogs.
Planning what?
Sprint planning meeting.
Oh, sprint planning meeting. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Go ahead.
So yeah, Gatoya Jani, read backlog to us quickly, please.
Okay. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you.
Product backlog is a prioritized list of work for the development team that is derived from the roadmap and its requirements. The most important items are shown at the top of the product backlog, so the team knows what to deliver first.
Exactly. So the team knows what to deliver first. Good. We now have something else called sprint review. Satoya Jani, what is sprint review?
A sprint review is about demonstrating the hard work of the entire team, designers, developers, and the product owner.
Good. So sprint review is like what you call demo day. So yeah, Jani, you know what demo day means?
Yes.
That's the day in which you want to present what you have done to the stakeholders available to get feedback. That's what is called sprint review. You are demonstrating, okay, this is what you have done. You understand? Unlike in predictive, Mr. Toyajan, you remember now, and you are enter switch. Unlike in predictive that you will have spent like 6 weeks building software, and then at the end you want to do testing, user acceptance testing, clinical testing. But in this case now, as you are doing sprint, at the end of the sprint, you do your review, get your feedback. You understand? And then another sprint, do your review, get your feedback. Another sprint, do your review, get your feedback. And then of course, continue to implement the feedback to refine what you are doing. Are we together, Mr. Toya Jani?
Yes,
Okay. Then we have.
Okay, so I have a question.
Yeah, quickly.
Don't worry. I think the question I wanted to ask, there are some items, even after you have done, you have your backlogs before you want to do your, that you will feed into your sprint. Yes, sir. There are some projects that probably one is dependent on the other one. I want to believe that your sprint planning. Am I correct? That should be part of your sprint planning.
What should be part of sprint planning? What are you describing?
Some items, now there are some items that you need to prioritize. You want to get some of these things done first. So the things you want to do first. So but you have items maybe 6, 8, 9 that you want to do, but there are some other items that are dependent on. If you don't do maybe 2 and 3, then you cannot do 6.
Of course, definitely. That's a very valid one. Definitely. When you say you're prioritizing, you're also taking care of dependencies now. So yes, you are correct. Of course, definitely. I
just want to be sure. All right,
yeah. Mr. Muhammad Adeleke, tell us what are stand-ups?
Okay, stand-up are one of the fundamental parts of agile development. It's often most misunderstood. Let's be real, stand-up by themselves don't make your team agile. They aren't about inflating egos or justifying job descriptions. They aren't a time to plan. Sprint planning is for planning. They are also aren't the only time to mention blockers. If you are stuck, ask for help.
Interesting. There's a funny thing here. Stand up in our office here, we call it stand up meeting. The general worldwide name they now call it. Sometimes they don't call it stand ups, they call it daily scrum.
They call it what?
Daily scrum.
Daily scrum.
Yes. You know the way this label, how you are doing now, that they are changing different names to fit the the realities of the day. For example, they don't want to say gentleman now. They call it gentle, I can't remember. Is it gentle person? Gentle. So they're just changing some names because some people are now agitating here and there. Yeah. People are now oversensitive to nomenclature. Yeah, I think that's a better way of putting it. People are now oversensitive to nomenclature. So the people who are too known, they have gone to now say, okay, no, we don't like the name daily stand-up. We now call it I call it
Daily scrum.
Daily scrum, yes. You understand? And you know their justification. Justification is that those will not get leg in car, those who they use wheelchair car. You understand? So, and how does daily scrum work? We have Mr. Woman, okay, you have read it, Abby. The way stand-ups work is that for 15 minutes of your time in the morning, preferably sometime somewhere between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m., you call everybody, oh yeah, everybody, stand up, 15 minutes. Each person start talking. You answer 3 questions. What are you working on? Oh, sorry, what did you do the previous day? What do you want to work on today? What constraints are you facing? Mr. Mama, what are the 3 questions?
Okay, that for 15 minutes, everybody will ask every team member to talk about what they did the previous day, what they are going to do today, and what is the challenge with what they are doing. Why I can actually answer this one easily is because I'm using something similar to that.
Okay.
So And another thing that you even added to it is that what resources do you need?
Okay. Yes. Yes. But one very important thing that they usually caution everybody for, and that's one major problem I have myself. You know me, I like to talk a lot. They are always cautioning that do all you can to ensure that the meeting does not exceed 15 minutes. And that's, in fact, that's one of the reasons why they say people should be standing up. Because it is assumed that you understand? So the goal is for it to be a short period, for you to just get what's everybody working on? That's all. And then everybody understands what every other person is working on the team. But I'm looking at you as silent. Am I supposed to interpret it to me you are confused?
Please, I have a question.
Quickly, please. Oh, yeah, now.
Okay. I can
Yes,
go,
please.
Abby. Because okay. So what does this mean? Stand-ups by themselves don't make the team agile.
Good. What it means is that they are referring to people like us, people like me. Let me say that way. There are times in which we are still operating with a predictive mindset. But because we are now doing daily stand-ups, you will now be deceiving yourself, thinking you're actually operating with an agile mindset. And I'm going to give me, do you understand what I just said? Madam Olubumi, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here, sir.
Did you hear what I just said?
Yeah, you're just explaining stand-up. She asked a question and you're trying to explain.
Okay, that's fine. Do we have it? Okay.
Sir?
Is it clear now?
Yeah, about the stand-up.
Yes.
Well,
what I'm saying is that it is not, stand-up is not the only thing that makes your work agile. You can continue to operate
but
in
sorry
the same
to cut you short, sir.
Okay.
Sorry, sir. What's the stand-up about? Is it like a meeting that takes place at the beginning of work?
It's actually a meeting, a short meeting that you
okay, at the beginning of work
on the feet. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So we are clear now about what stand-up is.
Yeah.
What's the purpose? What do you think the purpose of stand-up meeting is?
Yes, I think that's where that our question comes in, because they say stand up by themselves don't make your team agile. So what's now the purpose?
No.
Can I?
Okay, please. Yes, please. Thank you, Madam.
Can I respond?
Yeah.
So I think that largely I think stand-ups are for asking for help if you're stuck. So now there is supposed to be, so we've talked about the fact there's a short meeting to talk about what probably was achieved the day before, what you're planning to do today. And then if there are points where you need help or something is not moving, it's an opportunity to ask that, to raise it and so that the work can keep moving as planned.
Yeah. Yes, correct. Madam Olubumi, do you get that?
Yeah, I get it. But those questions can be asked at any time.
Of course. No. It is during the 15 minutes meeting.
Yes, if I can add, yes, they can be hacked at any time, but everybody will probably just disappear to do their bits of work for the day. So when you have, it's a platform where you pull everybody together before everybody disappears to do their part of the work.
Okay.
I don't know if you
yeah. Get it.
All right. Thank you very much. So these are stand-ups. There you have Scrum Master. Scrum Master is now that Japanistic person who is there facilitating, giving direction.
I have a question.
Oh yeah, quickly.
There is an English in the other previous slide talking about blocker, I don't understand.
Blocker. Yes, what it means, you are asking everybody to tell you what constraints are you facing. And that's one of the reasons why you have the daily stand-ups. Some people are facing some problems, which are some blockers. That's, if you know, you can solve for them in 5 seconds. Or maybe you can just pair people up there and then in the meeting to solve some issues some people have. Maybe you need to expand some people's team there and then in the meeting. That's the reason why you need to meet often, discuss constraints. What constraints are you facing? Some of those constraints can be solved.
Okay. If one, like some of us that have more than one offices, or we have remote team, we can also be doing this on Zoom also. Okay. Within 15 minutes, everybody is done. But those that are in physical office, they can use a single TV. Everybody still stand up, and we still do it in 15 minutes, and everybody get out. Some of these things is good. We implement them immediately as they ought, so that one can sustain them.
They have Scrum Master, and they are the facilitators of Scrum. It's a lightweight, the focus, okay, anyway. As facilitators, Scrum Master, retrospective, yes, that's the last slide here. Okay, can you take a slide one? Madam, will you read this slide to us already?
So the purpose of the retrospective meeting is to evaluate how the last sprint, iteration, or work item went, specifically around the team dynamic, processes, and tools. Second purpose, articulate and stack, rank the items that went well and those items that did not. Create and implement a plan for improving the way the team does work.
Yes.
I have a question.
Okay. Yes, I'm here.
So this retrospective or retrospective meeting is different from a stand-up, or you can have elements of this retrospective in a stand-up?
Retrospective is after a sprint, at the end of a sprint.
At the end of a sprint. Oh, evaluate how the last sprint iteration or work. Okay. What confused me was work item.
No, yes.
But clear.
In this case,
clear.
Don't forget
So
that
end of the sprint.
At the end of the sprint, you have 2 important meetings. What and what? We discussed one post-sprint meeting earlier. What's the name of that meeting?
Post-sprint.
I discussed it now. I think that when the sprint review.
Is this Scrum?
Oh, okay. Sprint review.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, but
sprint
okay.
review.
Okay, the one you call the demo day.
Yes, sprint review. Sprint review is primarily for stakeholders to come and see. Yeah, exactly. Show and tell. You get. Show and tell. But retrospective is inner caucus. You want to sit down, beat yourself up and say, what did we do wrong? What did we do right? What are our lessons learned? You understand? Okay. This one is not for everybody. This one is inner caucus. Oh yeah. What did you do right? What are we changing? What lessons are we taking into the next sprint? Here you get. So articulate and stack, rank the items that went well and the items that did not go well. Create and implement a plan for improving the way the team does work. So help us God. All right. You see, this thing, you go. Is it so difficult? Is it like it's difficult to work? It's taking us some time to digest this principle. Oga Muhammad, our market.
Alhamdulillah.
It took us so long, more than 1 hour. Guy, to just discuss 15 slides. Why? What went wrong?
Nothing went wrong. It's the beginning. You are setting foundation.
Okay. Madam Olubu, man, you did there. What is slow?
No, I did, yes, sir. I did, sir.
We have picked up too many terminologies today already.
Yeah, good.
It's too much, I mean. It's okay. You see, this thing we have just done today, sincerely, I've not seen how others are teaching this thing. I don't see how you want to teach this course well without first of all giving people like a rough overview of these terminologies. Because there's hardly any page in the book that you not come across these terminologies. And if you don't understand what it is, you will just be thinking you understand what is wrong with understanding. So now that we have treated these things, trust me, you will be coming across them every now and then, and you will be able to shake your head and say, yes, I know what it means. Ogatoya Jani, our market.
Interesting all the way.
Our market conditions.
Sir.
Yes, please.
That slide that you posted on the WhatsApp, where can we find it? The prerequisite.
Which is prerequisite again?
The one on the WhatsApp.
The one on the WhatsApp. Hey, click on it now. You can download it from Google Slides. Yes, now. If you open it with Google Slides, just follow the link. It's going to load it up in the browser. I don't know why I wasn't loading my own browser. So I had to download it to PDF and then present the PDF.
No, I don't know. Are you?
Yeah, any other question? At low over time. Any other question? Okay, no question.
Can you get something like, can you get something like a repository of project management oriented keywords? Because yesterday when I did the prep assessment, I have performed better, but most of those keywords I don't know them. So
relax. That's what you are here for. I'm not going to give you something that will overwhelm you and you start thinking like, why did I come to Africa in the first place? Relax. Trust me, for every class you are coming to, you'll be having some extra 20, 30, 10 keywords. So you don't need to rush. As we are moving, the keywords will be syncing. You'll be seeing new keywords. You'll be repeating previous keywords, and you move. So don't worry. That pre-test you did is not meant to make you feel bad. It was just a way of like gauging the present situation so that you can know how well to run. I'm sure when you saw your score, you know that Kai there's fire on the mountain. So that's the purpose. So then my last announcement today to everybody is, don't forget I said, apart from the class, you are supposed to give us 1 to 2 hours of your time on other non-class days. So your reading schedule will be sent to you. In some days, we tell you to watch video. In some days, we tell you to read from the book. The reason why we have not done that before now is that we have practically not even started the training at all. After we have done Agile, now we can start training. Our next training, which is on Sunday, then we will training proper. What we have been doing before now is just introduction to the training. And another thing I should also mention is, I think you've all been given access to the videos. Please, it's very important. If you have not been given access, please, I'll ask the people from the office to contact every one of us personally tomorrow to confirm that we have access to the videos. Those videos, even though they are for the last syllabus, they are full of lots of value. But don't worry, we're not going to ask you to go and start watching everything. We'll tell you what to focus on. So thank you very much, everybody.
What's time for tomorrow's class?
You said what?
What's the time for tomorrow's class?
We don't have class tomorrow, guy.
It's Sunday, not tomorrow.
It's Sunday, same time. Same time.
When are you going to get the
All right, thank you very much. Good. You get it, don't worry. When you wake up, by the time you wake up, you have the recording.
Okay.
And maybe if I sleep late, maybe I can still post it tonight. You know, it takes some time after Zoom meeting for Zoom to send the recording.
Okay.
All right, enjoy yourself. Don't worry, all this your strong bone. It will still something. Don't worry. Good night, you.
Good night, sir.
Good night.